Hello, friends. Welcome back to English with Kayla. My name is Kayla. I'm an American English teacher, and I love to teach you how to speak English that you can't find in a textbook so that you can sound like a very natural, fluent English speaker. In this lesson, I'll teach you some strange English questions that you won't find in a textbook, so you need to learn these from a native speaker or someone who's been speaking the English language for a very long time. Let's get started with these 50 important English questions. The first type of questions that we are going to talk about are questions that are asking for an opinion. Remember, these are questions that you won't find in a textbook, so you really need to pay attention to what the question is asking. And for each question in today's lesson, I have written an example response that would make sense for this question. So practice those with me and make sure to pay attention. This first set of questions I wrote all about an iPhone. It can be any iPhone. We're talking about the new iPhone. I personally have an iPhone 11, so it's not the newest, but we're just going to use this as an example for this first set of questions. The first question is, what do you think about the new iPhone? What do you think is a really common way to start out a question that is asking for an opinion? What do you think about the new iPhone? It's great. There are so many new features. Another way to ask almost this exact same question is to say, tell me your thoughts about the new iPhone. So what do you think and tell me your thoughts are the same thing. Now, this is more of a command, but it really is a question because you're asking for a response here. You're saying, tell me your thoughts about the new iPhone. If you want to sound more assertive in a conversation, use this phrase, tell me your thoughts, instead of saying, what do you think? This means that you just want to hear their opinion and you're not even asking, you're just telling them, tell me your thoughts. So an example that you could say to this question, it works so well, I would buy one if I were you. This is a great way to give a recommendation, is to say, if I were you, I would do this. When English speakers say, if I were you, it means we're giving a recommendation or we're giving some sort of advice. This next question says, would you recommend the new iPhone? When you just say, would you recommend, it's asking a yes or no question, but you're usually asking for some more detail as well. You're asking for that opinion. If you were going to spend $1,000 on a new phone, you can't go wrong with the iPhone. Saying you can't go wrong is saying that it's a very good product. It won't be bad if you buy this. You won't regret buying the iPhone. You can't go wrong is a very natural English expression to recommend something. This next question can get a little bit confusing for English learners because it uses the present progressive form. It says, how are you liking the new iPhone? If you say, how are you liking something, it's asking, are you liking it? How are you liking this food? How are you liking your teacher? How are you liking the new iPhone? It's working really well. I'm glad that I bought it. So it's asking for an opinion. How are you liking it? How are you liking it asks for an opinion. What do you like about the new iPhone? Again, this question is so similar to the last few questions in this lesson. Instead of asking, do you recommend it, or how are you liking it, you're asking for a specific thing that they like about the new iPhone. There are so many nice things about this phone, but the new camera is my favorite. That would be a great response to this question. What do you like about the new iPhone? Another very simple way to ask for an opinion is to say, why do you like the iPhone so much? Why do you like that iPhone so much, and what do you like about the iPhone? Are basically asking the same thing. A great response to this question would be, this phone has worked so well for me and has the latest software update. If you ever hear an English speaker say, what makes it so great? You're asking, what is good about it? What do you like about it? What about the iPhone makes it so great? What about it makes it so great? They're asking for you to describe it. What about that food makes it so great? So you usually ask someone a question like this if you know that they like something and you want their opinion on it. What about the iPhone makes it so great? It's so fast and takes the best photos. To be honest, that's the thing that I care about the most on the iPhone is the camera. It's a really good camera. I'm going to switch up my example now. We're not going to talk about iPhones forever in this lesson. we're going to talk about Nintendo Switches because it's my favorite way to play games and relax. I have a yellow Nintendo Switch Lite that I play Animal Crossing and Mario on when I have free time. So I wrote some questions about this as well. If you're asking for an opinion about it, you say, do you think Nintendo makes good games? Do you think is a great way to ask questions as well. Yes, they make the best games for the Switch. Do you think can also be the beginning to a yes or no question, but when you're asking about someone's thoughts or you're saying, do you think, you're usually wanting some follow-up too, some reasoning, some opinions. When you're asking for someone's favorite, of course, you're always asking for their opinion. What is your favorite game to play on the Switch? Mario 3D All-Stars is the best, in my opinion. You can either start your response here, in my opinion, Mario 3D All-Stars is the best, or you can say Mario 3D All-Stars is the best, in my opinion. Another way to ask this question is to say, can you think of your favorite video game to play? And the response, Mario 3D All-Stars is the best, in my opinion. Sometimes when you ask questions, you're really searching for a specific answer. You're searching for a reason why. And these questions, these are ways to get more information about something or find out who can do something for you. The first question, why is Facebook not working? This has come up a lot recently, and people always ask me, why is Facebook not working? Why is Instagram not working? They got hacked. When you say why, you're usually asking for more information. Why are you late? I got stuck in traffic. Sorry. This is a question that was originally in a song. Who let the dogs out? So who let the dogs out of the house? Who? Your brother let them out before he went to work. Sometimes instead of saying who, if you're being more passive, if you're trying to figure out if a person knows a piece of information, you can say, do you know who let the dogs out? This seems like it might be a yes or no question, but you're actually just saying, do you know? And if you do, tell me who. Do you know who let the dogs out? Your brother let them out before he went to work. Who is the best basketball player? Now, this question could again be a matter of opinion, but you could also be asking what the consensus is. What do people usually say is the best? Who is the best basketball player? LeBron James is the GOAT. If you don't know what GOAT means, go watch one of my English slang lessons. I'll link it up here. It stands for the greatest of all time. You could also respond to this question if you're wanting to say it more as a matter of fact. They say LeBron James is the GOAT. Who is they? We don't know. Usually just the media or other people, or it's a popular opinion if you say they say LeBron James is the GOAT. Now I'm going to go over some questions that are searching for an answer, and usually these are asked on the phone when you're speaking with someone on the phone. When someone answers the phone, you say hello, and they say, who's calling? It's me, Kayla. Another way the same question is asked is to say, can you tell me who is calling? It's me, Kayla. Who is calling? Can you tell me who is calling? Now, can you tell me who is calling? You could just say, yes, I can tell you. But they're asking, who is this? It's just a way that Americans speak. We say, can you do this? It's really just asking for the answer. Another way this question can be asked is, who am I speaking to? It's me, Kayla. Or if it's really casual, if you're not at work, if you're just answering your personal phone, you say, who's this? It's me, Kayla. And if you think it's your friend, but you're not sure, you could just answer your phone and say, is this Kayla? Yep. Let's talk about asking for preferences. You can, of course, state the question as, would you prefer to drive or fly? And saying, would you prefer comes off a bit more formal to me. It's completely acceptable to ask a question this way in any situation, but it is more formal to say, would you prefer? I would prefer flying. Driving takes too long. You can also say, would you rather, if there's two choices that are going to be given in your question. Would you rather drive or fly? I would prefer flying. Driving takes too long. What do you want to do? Drive or fly? I would prefer flying. Driving takes too long. This is the exact same question, but instead of saying, would you prefer, it's what do you want to do? This is the most casual way to ask this question. Now, if you're approaching a group of people, you can say, who likes to eat breakfast? Or you could even say, who likes to eat breakfast? Raise your hand. I would say this more with children if you're asking people to raise their hand. Who likes to eat breakfast? I am a breakfast person. Now, this question seems like it would be a yes or no, but you can just say, it's me. I am a breakfast person. And when we say breakfast person, lunch person, a movie person, it just means that you like whatever thing you're putting in front of the word person. I am a people person. This means that you like to talk to people. You could also ask this question by saying, who prefers to eat in the morning? I am a breakfast person. This is the exact same question, just asked in a very different way. If you're asking for a favor and you're asking multiple people who can do the favor for you, you could say, who can go to the store for me? I can go if you give me a list. Another way to ask this question, you could say, is anyone available to go to the store for me? If you say for me in this situation, it means, can you do it for me? Are you able to do this task for me as a favor? I can go if you give me a list. Who is able to go down to the store for me? So instead of saying who is available, you can say who is able, who has the ability to do it. I can go to the store if you give me a list. I want to know who paid for dinner. It was Jill. She is so generous. Sometimes you're asking a question and you're not actually asking for someone's opinion, and you're not actually asking for a yes or a no. You're asking just because you want to see if they agree. You're assuming that they agree. You might hear someone say a question like this: why do people pay so much for clothes? I just don't understand it. So they're asking a question, but they're just saying, I don't understand, even if you give me an answer. And if you want to just agree with them, you can say, everyone wants the latest trends. Another way that you are looking for someone to agree with what you're saying or what you're asking, you could say, why do people spend so much on clothes? Everybody wants the latest trends. Okay, this is something that really confuses English learners because it's not grammatically correct, but this is really common for American English speakers to use. They say, why do people spend so much money on clothes though? Adding that word though to the end of the sentence is just saying it's a fact, or they're saying like, don't you agree? Why do they spend so much money though? And this is again the exact same question, but this is actually how a native English speaker would say it. Why do people spend so much money on clothes though? So when you're looking for someone to agree, you might say, you like it though. It's exactly the same thing as saying you like it, right? Though can be replaced with right sometimes when it's used at the end of a sentence. Again, it's not completely grammatically correct, but it's very colloquial and it's very much the way that English speakers have started to speak in the United States. You think it's going to be hot out today, right? Yeah, that's what they said on the weather report. When you add right to the end of the sentence, you're just double checking that that's correct. You're looking for someone to agree because you think that's right. But in this case, you could also be wrong. The person could also say, no, I actually saw that it was going to snow today, which obviously it wouldn't be hot out if it's snowing. I'm going back to this way that we speak. Sometimes we say, they said. They said it's supposed to be hot. Who is they? We don't actually know. We're usually just talking about a popular opinion, or we're talking about the media. They say. Yeah, that's what they said on the weather report. So we don't know which weather report, but we're just talking in general. We're just talking about what would be popular. If you just Googled weather in your area, it would probably come up as hot if you say they. Sometimes instead of telling someone to do something, you're kind of asking it, but you're asking in a way that you think they will agree with it. So you say, you have got to tell me how you do on the test, okay? By saying okay at the end in that question form, see how my voice goes up in pitch? I say okay. You're saying agree or right or though. You have to tell me how you do on the test, okay? For sure. The same question asked in a different way is, you're going to send me your score. It's not actually a question, but the way that I said it, it comes off as a question. and you're just making sure that they agree with sending you their score for their test. You're going to send me your score. Let's talk about some common yes and no questions now. Is this your car? Yes. Oh, it always comes off as more natural to restate the question when someone asks you a yes or no question. Is that your car? Yes. That's it. Is it a new car? No, it's not a new one. Can you drive me to the store? No, not right now. It would be really rude in this case when someone asks you to do something just to say no. Give them a reason. So no, not right now. Can you take me tomorrow? Yes. How about in the morning? This is what I call answering a question with a question. Can you do it? How about in the morning? And let's get back to our factual questions that you are asking in order to understand what's going on in the situation or get some facts about whatever you're asking about. What is the difference between the old iPhone and the new iPhone? This question can be asked in a very straightforward way. You can say, what is the difference? Or you can say, what's the difference? The second way of asking that question is making it seem like you don't understand the difference. You think that they're basically the same. So I'm going to ask this question in a very straightforward way. What is the difference between the old iPhone and the new iPhone? The big difference is the software. This question is really similar to the last one. How are they different? Or you can say, how are they different? Meaning that you don't understand how they're different. There's a note of sarcasm when I say, how are they different? The big difference is the software. Now, when you say, what seems to be the difference? This word seems can be really hard for English learners to understand and use. You are asking for an opinion here. What do you see as the difference? What is perceived from you as the difference? What seems to be the difference? You're asking for a fact, but it can also be a manner of opinion if you say what seems to be the difference. The big difference is the software. Sometimes we use this word related or what's the relationship to gather information about how two things are similar or the same. How are the two related? They are both iPhones. Again, if you want to figure out how two things are the same or what puts them together, you can say, what is the relationship? They're both iPhones. And a relationship can be between two people, like a boyfriend and a girlfriend. That's a relationship. Or a friendship is a relationship. Or you can say, what's the relationship between you and her? This could be asking, what's your family relationship or how do you know each other? So in this case, our parents have been friends for a long time. That's our relationship. That's how we know each other. And if you're trying to figure out if there is a relationship, if two things are related, or if they have a past, two people, you could say, is there any relationship between you two? Our parents have been friends for a long time. That's it for today's question English lesson. I hope that these 50 plus questions were very helpful for you in understanding native English speakers when they ask questions that just are not taught in English textbooks. For more English lessons like this, go ahead and click the next videos here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to English with Kayla. I would love to be your English teacher every week with new English lessons. Best of luck studying, and I'll see you in the next video.